Will Smith has such a distinctive head. Head shaped like a block, ears like Dumbo. There he is!
Ah, it's rewind time. Yeah, if I control rewind, I would want Fortnite and Marquez Brownlee.
Oh, Will, no, you do not. All right? You don't want Fortnite or Mark Ass. You're already cool. You're like that cringy dad that's trying to be relatable to his kids. Furthermore, I love Will Smith, but he's a Hollywood actor, musician, and producer, not a YouTuber. Honestly, when I think of him, I think of Bad Boys, I think of Fresh Prince, and I felt like KS should have opened up. Maybe even Liza.
Is this what you wanted?
Okay, so call me old, but is it me or am I just out of the loop? I don't know any of these YouTubers, and personally, I've never played Fortnite. I don't really see what the hype is about. I didn't know who Ninja was until he was called out as a Twitch streamer.
So guys, apparently we control Rewind this year.
Liza Koshy, I love your little brown self, but you're lying. You do not control YouTube Rewind. Furthermore, I think BTS is awesome. I don't care what anybody says.
Darf ich eine royale Hochzeit haben?
Yeah, but you're marrying Bongo Cat.
Warte, was?
Rewind needs more science. Could we do an experiment?
Love that. Melting lipsticks.
I don't remember melting lipstick being a thing. And who's Bongo Cats?
Everyone who managed to do something bigger than themselves this year, who found a way to help the causes that matter to them most. To everyone who proved it's okay to talk about mental health this year and showing their viewers that it's okay to go through tough times like that. It takes a lot of bravery to be that vulnerable, and I'm so proud of this community. I think this year's Rewind should celebrate the fierce, fabulous, and empowering art of drag. I want to see all of you be your own kind of beautiful. और वो लोग जिन्होंने education के field के लिए पैसा जुटाया है. Can we also give a moment to Asian representation in entertainment this year? Major strides were made. And to the people who put aside their differences. Yeah, and created something really special. Here's to all women in 2018 finding their voices. Muito bacana ver como as mulheres cresceram esse ano, elas ganharam poder. Can we give a moment to working moms? Ganbarimashou. Já todo mundo que ensinou ou que aprendeu.
Oh, yeah. Right. Sorry, I'm supposed to be doing a video. Alrighty. This is where the video starts to tank. First of all, did the CEO slip Molly in your bullshit? Nah, it was just a fat check. You know, sometimes I tend to confuse the two. All jokes aside, why is there so much talking? This is Rewind, not the American Red Cross commercial. Your target audience is kids, but have the attention span of a squirrel. If you feel there was Asian representation, for example, why don't you act it out? Recreate Crazy Rich Asians, a successful movie. Or To All the Boys I've Loved, another success. Let's say, for example, I'm from another country and I'm not Asian. I never knew why it's a big deal, that Asian representation is a thing and why it needs to be a thing. And after watching this video, I still don't know, because you guys are talking so general, nobody's going to understand what you're talking about. Gabby, I'm sure you're a nice person in real life, but you are so uneducated, it's not even funny. Maybe it was a slip of tongue, but to have mental illness does not make you a vulnerable person. In fact, it makes you strong to speak up against mental illness and reach out for help in a world that is so close-minded. Mental illness affects over 1 million Americans, and the number keeps increasing. A core percentage of that are our youth. You know, the demographics you're benefiting from. It's disingenuous when Casper Lee makes this statement because videos have been demonetized for speaking out about mental illness. It's clear they don't believe in what they're saying, and I don't blame Casper Lee or any of these creators. They basically were handed a script and were told, say this bullshit, and they're supposed to do it. It's a job for them. But, you know, it just creates a stigma when you're demonetizing these videos. It's basically like you're telling the viewer who is dealing with depression or mental illness, you are weak or you are crazy, and therefore we're getting this demonetized because this is not of our norm. This is not something that could be considered a normal thing to talk about. And it's very unfortunate, especially when there are people out here who are taking their own lives as a result to depression or a result to anxiety. And people talking about these videos is actually helping other viewers and giving them some hope. Profiting off somebody else's mental struggles is wrong. I'm a Black woman, but I refuse to be praised for my skin color or my gender. In fact, I want to be praised for my work or what I'm capable of doing. If I get a job in a corporate ladder, for example, I want it to be because of my degree, because of how I perceive myself, how I perceive the company, and how educated I am. Not because I'm a Black woman and they felt like they needed more of a token to meet a quota to come off as diverse. It's the year 2018, not the 1950s. I get that it's hard for working mothers out there. I totally get it. I'm not a mom at all, but I can imagine that taking care of a kid on your own is hard while you're working. But guess what? It's 2018. That's something that women are doing and have to do it and have to meet that hustle on a daily basis. That's not something that's, that's just not something that's not normal. That's not something you should be praised about. That's something you should be doing. You should be taking care of your kids. So I don't get why that was also a big thing. And again, they're always talking so vague in this. They're not exactly making any specific points. Not that I feel like this entire segment should have been included in the first place, but if you guys are going to include the segment, be more specific as to what causes you're referring to. They were talking about how it's amazing that there's a celebration for women empowerment. I've never felt like I could never do anything I put my mind to just because I'm a female. Again, 2018, the 21st century, women can do anything. Women are in the army. Women are police officers. Women are bosses. It's really not a non-common thing. Maybe I've been harassed as a woman. I've been talked down to as a woman. Sure. But I've never been oppressed because I'm a woman. And unless somebody can give me just one reason as to why women are oppressed in the United States of America or in a first world country, unless you guys can give me one reason why women are so oppressed, I don't want to hear this fucking SJW female empowerment bullshit. Maybe you guys were talking about the Middle East. I don't know, but you guys were not being so specific about what you're talking about, so I'm going to assume that you guys are referring to the Western world. And what about men? What about men who fought for what you call, quote unquote, female empowerment? What about gay fathers who are raising their kids? What about single dads, working single dads? What about dads who stick around for their wives or girlfriends, even baby mamas? Not every guy is a deadbeat father. Like, seriously, not every guy is a deadbeat. Not every father is a deadbeat. There are good men out there, and there's no recognition for men in this country too, or men in any country who are actually doing good for women. Lastly, drag has been around for hundreds of years. It's an important thing to celebrate, but again, why this year when we could have recognized it in any other year?
We're forgetting something. I think we should read the comments.
Also, they did not reference Avengers, Black Panther, Ant-Man vs. the Wasp, Deadpool, and as sinful as this will sound, Teen Titans Go, since their target audience is for kids, right? Even though Stan Lee died, an honorable mention and tribute should have made towards his work if you guys weren't going to make it towards him as a person. That was extremely disrespectful, YouTube. The remix to the music was incredibly awful. 4 songs and a dubstep does not constitute as a remix. It does not. There were 100+ popular songs that happened this year, and you can easily mix those in 8 minutes. Now, it's not like you guys didn't have the rights to any other artist's music. I mean, if you had the rights to Cardi B and to Drake and to BTS, why in the actual hell did you guys not have the reference to all 96 other songs? If you had references to 4, if you had the rights to 4, it doesn't make any sense to me. I also hate that they repeat the same trend throughout the video by putting emphasis in Fortnite. I understand Fortnite was a big thing, but that was not the only thing that happened in this year. There were even children that were watching this and they were just confused. I even showed this video to my nieces and my nephews, and they were just confused out of their mind, like, what the hell am I watching kind of reaction. So, the thing is, they also did not include Yanny versus Laurel. That thing also made headline news. It was a big thing, and that trend got popular within 24 hours. I walked into work one day, and everybody was already talking about Yanny versus Laurel. That wasn't even included. Yanny versus Laurel in 2018 is like 2015's version of the blue dress versus the yellow dress. Honestly, this whole thing was a big middle finger to the consumer. It just looks like they scrapped this in 20 minutes. They didn't really put much time or heart into making this video. And it was like the corporate ladder was just like, oh, well, Fortnite and fidget spinners, that's what kids like, so let's just throw all this in here. Oh, kids also like Will Smith, let's throw him in there too. And I'm not saying Will Smith, again, shouldn't have been in it, but if you guys were going to include him, I felt like you guys should include him in the middle of the video in a more of a tasteful way. He shouldn't have been the host of it. Many YouTubers also felt like they did not want to be part of it because they were getting mistreated last year, so they refused to come this year. Other YouTubers were invited, but again, there was other scheduling conflicts, or they just didn't want a repeat of what happened. YouTubers were also not making numbers. They were not relevant. Like Jenna Marbles, for example. Love Jenna Marbles, but she's been making videos and she was popular in 2013, but in 2018, you don't really hear too much of her. She's not really relevant. Or somebody like PewDiePie, or those brothers, the Jake Paul brothers and the Logan Paul brothers, they've been making controversial videos, especially with the Suicide Forest. So that's why YouTube didn't invite people like that on their platform as well, because again, this whole thing is a big giant commercial. That's really what it was. That's all it comes down to. And it's basically a way for YouTube to impress advertisers, because it's just a fine line of who is more important in the eyes of YouTube to make happy. Should they impress the advertisers, the one that's actually going to put money in these YouTubers' pockets, or should they please the consumer but risk losing this revenue? So it's a very hard situation to think about. I also feel really bad for the YouTubers who are also involved in this abomination. Like, this is a way for you guys to shine and for people to tune into your channel and subscribe. And this year's YouTube Rewind made you all look cringy. It even made Casey Neistat look fucking cringy as fuck. Like, my goodness, man, wow. Wow. It was just a big giant cringe fest. But hey, I guess that's what happens when you sell your soul to the devil. So leave a comment and tell me what you guys think. Did you think this year's YouTube Rewind was good? Did you think it was bad? Did you guys see all of your content creators? Because personally, what I feel like would be a better resolution is for either YouTube to stop doing YouTube Rewind altogether, just cancel the whole entire thing for the future, or they do YouTube Rewind, but only the content creators, like the YouTubers, are the ones who are responsible for making their own YouTube Rewind on their own channel. Everybody can collaborate with each other. I feel like that would have been way more better versus relying on YouTube. Because when you rely on corporate, you get shit like that. Alright, so I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in my next video.